What's up, guys? Kaius back here, and I'm here with another video. I hope these aren't getting too annoying. I'm just trying to make I'm trying to do almost a video every day. Probably not going to be a video every day, but I'm going to do my best to do one. And I'm just going to cover different things on the game or what I'm doing, and on various other games that I probably play. And I'm just trying to grow the channel on YouTube a little bit as well, to have it coordinate maybe with the Twitch a little bit. But today we're going to go ahead and show the actual, like, what Metamorph is and, like, why it's so good. I know in my last currency video I said it's one of the main factors, but some people might not understand, and actually here's a reason. We'll go ahead and do a trade, and I'll show you how this works. As you can see, someone's actually buying an eye as we speak, and you can see the price 13 chaos. And we'll go ahead and do this trade, and then I'll kind of explain. There we go. He wants multiple. Even better. 5. So this will be some of the trading that we end up covering in the video, like why Metamorph is so profitable. And I'll show you guys kind of ways to manipulate it. So, Metamorph on its own, how it works, you'll go in a map and there'll be little green icons on some mobs. You'll see it on your map icon and over their head. When you kill them, you'll get a various limb, and there's 5 kind of limbs. There is the eyes, like he's buying right now. There's lungs, livers, hearts, and brains. Now, eyes are definitely the hardest to find and go for the most money. Then there's also lungs and livers, which go for about the same, and then hearts are probably less rare than that, and then brains are the most common. Now, at the end of the map, you'll get various amounts of each. You'll get like a little obelisk, and you can put one piece of each part in there, and it will summon a Metamorph who will get some of those abilities, and each of those limbs has a chance to come with a reward on it. Like, for instance, one of the livers might say, if you put this liver in the contraption, you can get currency items, or you can get fossils, or you can get gilded scarabs. And there's so many different things you can do with it, and they also have some, like, also thing like, well, we'll cast Firestorm, or is crit resistant, or is overwhelms physical damage resist. So you'll get stuff like that. Now, if you beat the Metamorph, he will drop pieces that you can take to a place called Tane's Lab and use those pieces to farm additional currency. It's almost like a double dipping. Like, you're going to get currency off doing the Metamorph in the map, and then you can go to Tane's Lab and doing it. Now, you'll get pieces like this, like an eyeball that will drop. Like this one says Herald of Ash's Eye. And you have a choice. You can either go to Tane's Lab and run them there, or you can go ahead and sell the pieces, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm going to kind of show you a map really quick with Metamorph, and then we'll go into the selling and how I've been doing and why I'm recommending this so much. So we're just going to go jump into a map. I'm just going to do my normal thing. And the big thing is, I've been using scarabs. For the most part, I use Polished Metamorph, which gives you an additional sample. So if you have the Atlas filled out, the passive Atlas tree for Metamorph filled out, you're already getting 2 samples. This will give you a 3rd sample, so if you were to get a brain, you'll get 3 brains. If you were to get a lung, you'll get 3 lungs, and so on. And then we'll get into the whole thing of, like, this allows you to do Metamorph twice, and where that could be beneficial. But we'll go ahead and just throw a cemetery in. We'll go through it really quick. We'll just do the map normally, and I'll kind of show you guys and point out things like what Metamorph looks like so you understand. So we're going to go through, and if you see on the map icon at the top right, there's some green icons. Those are Metamorph limbs. When you kill those monsters, you'll auto-loot a limb. Right there, it just said I got a heart. And you just go ahead and gather these. You'll clear the map like normal. You won't even worry about the Metamorph till the end. But we'll just go through. Doesn't really slow down your mapping, which is good. You just do it in addition. And then occasionally, since I have the Atlas tree, I'll actually run into a Metamorph that's already running around, known as a Metamorph Exile, which is just in addition to. Keep going. That shouldn't take more than 2 minutes, hopefully. Bosses always have one. The map boss will always have one. And that's the piece you have to use to actually make and get a piece to drop. You won't get any pieces dropping unless you use the map boss's component. We're just going to ignore that for a second while I finish the map here. But you see some guys trying to buy a lung now. And what's cool about this, as we're talking about it, what makes it really nice to farm is it's not like annoying. Like if you put maps for sale, you're gonna get spammed and you literally can't leave your hideout. But if you put these for sale, they'll sell frequently enough, but not to where it's completely disrupting. You'll have to leave your map maybe here and there to sell a couple pieces. But for the most part, it's not like super spammy, and it's just consistent flow of extra money. So, almost done with this map. Looks like we just got the insides to do. We got no ritual, which was nice. And we're also doing no music today. I hope you guys don't mind. I just didn't feel like putting the soundtrack on. I just feel like being a little bit more to the point. I'll go back and loot later. I'm not too worried about it. Okay. So that's the general idea of the map. We clear the map. You now have a button down here that says Spawn Metamorph file. Spawn it up. You click on it. Now you have various parts. Now the orange one is the pieces you will get at the end. So if I choose this, which you will, you always want to choose the boss piece. I will go ahead and get 3 lungs because I'll get 2 from 1 drops normally, 1 from the Atlas tree, and then we get 1 because we used at least a polished Metamorph scarab. Now since I'm using gilded scarabs, every one of these will have a reward type. They don't always. So since I used a gilded, we get additional catalyst. We get rare weapons, we pick that one. So go ahead and pick 1 of each piece. In this case, doesn't matter what. I'll just kind of look through and see what I want to choose. And as long as this bar is glowing, you'll get a piece at the end. You want the bar to glow. That means you juiced it enough. And this is harder to do at lower item level. At 83, you pretty much juice it pretty easily. You hit create. You'll go ahead and fight it. Kill it. We'll go ahead and loot whatever it drops, which it's a pretty good amount. You get pretty good rarity and quantity from doing these. We'll pick up the 3 lungs. Doesn't really matter what's on them. We'll go ahead and pick them up. And as you saw, it spawned again. That's my Atlas tree doing it. My Atlas tree gives me a second chance, but we don't have another unique boss, so we won't get any more limbs, so you'll kind of just choose what you want to do. You don't have to fill it this time, and it's just some extra reward. But keep in mind, this will be relevant in a bit, and we'll go over why. So after that, we'll go back to our hideout, go to our stash, we'll do our normal, clearing out our inventory. And then what you can do with these is you can either choose to keep them, which I am keeping some if they have like a double roll just for personal use. You can keep them, you can store them, you can put them away. And you can run them in Tane's lab. Or you could choose to sell them. And in this case, these are the prices I've been asking and I pretty much get for these. And they just sell throughout the day and I constantly put them after every map. So brains you could sell for 1 chaos a piece usually. Hearts go for about 2. Lungs and livers go for 3. And eyes go for 13. So eyes are the ideal piece you want to get. And it really doesn't matter what's on them. The issue is enough people aren't running Metamorph. And there's very few people selling the limbs. And for instance, they'll just be doing their maps. And they'll have accumulated these pieces without being spec'd into Metamorph. And they're short eyes. Well, they don't want to spec into Metamorph. They like what they're doing. So they'll come on the market and buy your eyes off you. Because they'll have like 5 sets that need 5 eyes. You just sold 5 eyes. 13 times 5. You're making, let's see, just quick math, 39, 52, 65 chaos, just like that. So what I do is I got 2 lungs here that I really don't care about. I'll throw them here. And as you saw earlier, a guy messaged me, but I was in a map and felt like I'm in the middle of a video, so I didn't feel like dealing with it. And we'll just put them on the lung tab, and we'll keep going. Now, you have a choice. If you don't want to do that, if you want to actually run your pieces, you'll go to Tane's lab. You'll go down here, and you will put the pieces you have into here, trying to fill the meter again for maximum result. You'll get better loot if you do so, and you'll just run them here. But from my experience, at least running just whatever pieces, 50 sets, so 50 of each piece. I've done a video on them. I've done probably 2 or 3 off stream and off video. You get about between 2 to 4 divines worth of currency if you go ahead and do it. That's what you'll about walk away with if you do it. Or you could sell the pieces, and if we do the math, just based off what I showed you, we bring up a calculator. So if we have 13 eyes, or 50 eyes, we sell them at 13 a piece. That's 650 chaos right there. So we're going to go ahead and open a notepad up, which I actually have over here. I'll put it on my second monitor. So we're at 650C. That's just from the eyes. Now lungs go for about 3, and so do livers, so we can just times that by 2. So between lungs and livers, you're looking close to 300 C. Okay? You then got hearts, which are 50. You're going to get 2C a piece, so 100. And then the brains are the cheapest at 50C. Now, if we add all that up together, we're looking at 950, 1050, 1100. Divided by the current divine rate, we'll just put it a little bit higher. You get more from just selling them if they're just whatever pieces. My strategy has been I will keep any piece that has two things I like on it. Like a double currency, I'll keep. Currency catalyst, I'll keep. Scarab currency, I'll keep. It's really up to you to make your own filter, but anything like that I decide to keep. And anything else, I just put for sale. If it only has like one currency or one scarab, I'll put it for sale, and it doesn't seem to affect what it sells for. People will buy them just to complete sets and be able to run their metamorphs. So you can just run them here. Now, one thing I will say, if you trade 3 of anything to a vendor, it will give you back a random piece of the same item level. So you could trade 3 hearts to the vendor, and it might give you an eye. Now, where that becomes cool is brains are only worth a chaos a piece. So at maximum, 3 brains that you would trade in, you're giving up 3 chaos for a chance to get either a heart, a lung, a liver, or an eye. It doesn't give you the same piece. I don't think so anyway. I haven't run into that. It doesn't look like it gives you the same piece. So at the very worst, you get a heart back, and you lose technically 1 chaos, but you have a good chance to break even by hitting a lung or a liver, and you're actually gambling and hoping you hit an eye, which would be 13 chaos. You're making a huge profit there. So it's not like you'll often lose on it. You'll probably do better than you don't most of the time. Now, the ideal thing would be, hey, let's just farm eyes. Well, they're rare, so how do we make it so we can farm eyes more efficiently? Find maps that have multiple bosses, or find maps that have twinned on them with multiple bosses. So a good example of that would be Courtyard. It has 3 bosses. If you could twin it, you're going to have 6 unique limbs drop. And it is possible that multiple could go into the eye category. So if, let's say we got 2 into our eye, we do Courtyard, it's twinned, we kill it, and we have 2 eyes that are unique. Well, you select one of them, you pick out 4 other pieces that are not unique, because if you mix unique limbs together, you'll get random of each body part. So you choose your unique eye, 4 rare other body parts, and when you kill the Metamorph, it will drop you 3 eyes. That's 39 chaos right there, just based on the sell rate. Now, you have a second Metamorph obelisk that pops up again. Since you have another unique, you can again choose another unique piece. If you have eye, you'll choose eye again, and 4 other rare pieces. And again, that's another 39 chaos. That's literally 78C right off just Metamorph, not including anything else that drops off of it, not including like all the other currency farmed map. That's 78C just like that. And that's why I've been doing it all day. Like, I streamed it earlier. A few people in my chat that can attest to that. I was just literally getting PMs all day and just slowly trading, just like now. Like, this guy just messaged me. I'll send him an invite. I'll go ahead, pull out an eye. And this will happen during the map. Easy 13 chaos. And again, there's nothing crazy on these pieces I'm selling. So this is just a consistent way to make money that I'd bring over to other leagues. The only thing is, I can understand a hardcore not wanting to do it because it can be a little bit rippy to a degree. But if you can handle the Metamorph, you just go in and go ahead and just farm them. If you die here and there, it's not a big deal, especially with soft core. And this is a great way to farm money. In my opinion, it's one of the best. It's right up there with Beast and probably Blight. And I forgot what else I'm even running. I don't even know. I have Ghost attached and Ritual. So you'll just make constant flow of money. Hopefully this guy's ready to trade. There we go. And we're just constantly depositing 13 chaos, 13 chaos. Now, there's going to be runs where you just get brains, and it's okay. You're still making money just off selling limbs, and they will sell. In my experience, brains, I don't really hold on to them much. I usually trade them up. Hearts are the slowest sellers. Lungs and livers, I'm usually struggling to keep livers and lungs in stock. And then eyes, again, most people are buying them. And you'll occasionally get people, they'll join the party, and I always ask the question, I can't type it because he's going to be here. Well, there we go. There's a lung. See, this is a perfect example. Like, this guy wants lungs. And I'll usually do this. I'll do it in an example as soon as he joins the party. I always type 1 or more. Because sometimes people will be like, I want 3 lungs, or I want 3 sets. And you just give them your prices, and you'll go from there. But in this case, they might not respond, so I'll just always open the trade window. See, then he says he wants 3. So right there, we're making 9C instead of 3. So it's just a very easy way to make money. And make sure, especially, the item level's 83. That's why these sell. Most people are picky, which I don't think it matters that much, 81 to 83. But people are picky on them. And they're looking to get their 83 sets done. But again, just a short video to kind of show why Metamorph is so important, and you can make a ton of money off it. If you want to run it in Tane's lab and have a criteria, go ahead. That's up to you. I'm kind of in the mood to just sell them right now. And just today from streaming, I think maybe, what was it, 3.5 hours? I went from 300 to 956 chaos just selling limbs. And that should be an idea. That's almost 3 divines in a short time, just off the limbs, not including catalysts or anything else you're finding. Which again, Metamorph is great for catalysts, and just a great consistent farm. I hope this helps you guys out, and appreciate you guys. Until the next video, take care.